The Entrepreneur of the Year competition, sponsored by Sanlam and business partners, is committed to playing a crucial role in elevating the standard of entrepreneurial activity in the country, as well as fostering a national entrepreneurial spirit. Our goal is to celebrate excellence in entrepreneurship and to promote it as a viable and exciting career path. The awards aim to honor, benefit and uplift South African SMEs and entrepreneurs. Congratulations to the following 15 competition finalists who, against all the odds, have persisted to make their dreams a reality. It's entrepreneurs like this, the quiet superheroes of the South African economy, who take enormous personal risk to beat their own path, creating jobs and opportunities for others as they build valuable enterprises from little but faith, hard work and bull-headed determination. Here are their stories.
My name is EOY. I'm the founder of Africa's premium sneaker brand, Batu. We are basically a proudly African sneaker brand. I used to buy a lot of sneakers, and then they're saying that if you're buying too much of it, then why not own it, So that's where the whole idea was conceptualized to, number one, build Africa's premium sneaker brand. Number two, to be innovative and be cool and be funky, being appealing to people. And number three, tell this beautiful, untold South African story to the world. When I did my undergrad, I was bitten by the entrepreneurial bug when I was still in Alexandra, because I used to sell perfumes door to door. So by the time I went to corporate, I already knew that I want to end up in business. My customers are basically anyone from the age 18 to 35. I always say this, that we are selling a feel-good shoe. People who want to be cool, who want to be trendy, they've got a party to go to and they want to feel good, So we are selling feel-good sneakers, not necessarily people who need shoes, but people who want to be cool enough and be smart, and they've got a beautiful outfit, they just need a good pair of sneakers to complete it. Those are people that I'm targeting. When I started the business, I did 18 months of research and development. And in one of my findings, actually, I realized that there's actually not one premium sneaker that is from Africa that can be benchmarked with all of these international footwear brands that we've got. So I was like, why not build Africa's premium sneaker brand? So that's what got us into a sneaker business. My room was about anything between 15 to 20 square meters. I had a single bed. I had stock with me, around me in my room, slept with it. I often make a joke that sometimes sleeping a size 8 navy blue would fall onto your face in the middle of the night, because I used to sleep with the stock in my room. Literally, I started this business from my room in Alexandra, and I literally used to put pairs in the boot of my car and go sell, to different clients. I'm the guy who started our social media page. I would literally do the end-to-end function that we've got today in the business.
My name is Perry King and I'm from Faith and Fear. We are a boutique, creative and strategic growth marketing consultancy. Taryn approached me, she was going to go on a sabbatical, and that didn't last because no one would let her. She's brilliant at what she does. I always had a corporate background, and Taryn phoned me up and she was like, I know your grey matter is dying there, and she was dying at her past agency. She was like, let's join forces. I don't know what this will be. We're not going to be a traditional agency, but let's see what we can grow and build together.
Why the name Faith and Fear? I think it takes equal amounts of both faith in who you are, faith in your customers, faith in your ability, faith in a higher power, and fear, that healthy amount of fear. When you're an athlete or have got sweat in the game, there's a little bit of fear that pushes you and gives you that adrenaline rush. Faith and fear is what you need to be an entrepreneur.
We are different from our competitors in that we are not a traditional agency. We offer business consulting. So we deliver a creative solution, but with a lot of thought behind it. It's not just pretty pictures, it's cerebral, and that's what we really pride ourselves on.
A long time ago, I was told the parable about the power or the energy of money. and that you work so hard to make money and you keep it really tightly held in your hand in a tight fist. But the thing is that if your hand is so tightly held on your money, it's not open to receive any more. And so if you keep your hand open, which seems to be counterintuitive, not only are you able to get more money, but you can give away money because there's more than enough to go around. There's more than enough success. There's more than enough money for us all to share. And so keeping an open hand is the lesson that I walk around with every day.
My name is Mario Ruas. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Lightech, and we are a proactive lighting maintenance, energy and electrical company. I got into lighting fortuitously. I'm an accountant by profession, and my business went down, and somebody had given me an opportunity as an assistant in a lighting company. They were the biggest lighting company in SA, and I started on the ground floor. I started as an assistant on the back of a bakkie, believe it or not. I didn't know anything about lighting. I had to learn everything. Fortunately, I had an assistant that time that showed me the ropes. And at some times, you know, I was the guy sleeping in the bakkie because I didn't have money for accommodation. When we started this business, we had one customer. That was the Exclusive Books Group. Somebody I knew there said, "We know you from your days at your previous company. We are willing to give you an opportunity." And you know, we had only 18 stores and 2 people, myself again, and somebody else in Kosanati, Mabena, that I hired. And the 2 of us went around and we physically went into the stores, changed the light bulbs and so on. And we grew our base from initially only 18 stores to 2.5 years later, currently just doing over 1,000 retail stores on a monthly basis that we service. My best business memory is this. When we started out, we didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have an office, we didn't have anything. I would go to the KFC in Blue Route Mall and I would use their Wi-Fi for a bit until that is finished. Then you would go to the Mug and Bean and use their Wi-Fi. And that went on for about a year before eventually actually, as the business grew, we managed to get Wi-Fi and we managed to get an office. And I was speaking about that with the guys the other day, and I said, that is the humble beginnings that we started from. And that's the journey of an entrepreneur. It's not glamorous, it's about making things happen.
My name is Lal Malander, Director of the Malander Group. We're a 3-tiered firm focusing on chartered accounting and financial advisory. We have a recruitment firm called Malander Placements, and we have a digital firm called Malander Digital. I'm a qualified chartered accountant and worked in the advisory space throughout my career, and decided to jump out into my own venture from an entrepreneurial perspective in about 2015. And it started out as a chartered accounting business, essentially, what we know, our pure niche. We then realized that for a business to be successful, we need to have a bit of diversification within our businesses, and we started a business called Malander Placements within the consulting space. Our core focus is on people. It was a natural migration to add the recruitment arm into our business. And then within any business in this day and age, and for the looming fourth industrial revolution, digital is always an important component of business. And we launched a company called Malander Digital, which is aimed to focus on our internal businesses essentially, as well as external clients, to add a little bit more diversification to our service set, but also to give us an understanding of the technological environment. And accounting and finance is marrying very well with technology, and we wanted to be at the forefront of that, and hence the reason for the introduction of Malander Digital. I get excited, I know this might sound cliche, but I get excited walking into the business every morning. I think for me, a core driver behind wanting to step into the realm of entrepreneurship was creating employment. And for us to be able to do that within the South African economy at this point in time is something that is truly magical for me. Entrepreneurship is the key and the way to go, bringing our country out of the economic crisis that we find ourselves in. And it just is inspiring for me to walk into office every day, walk into our clients every day, and know that we're creating opportunities for other individuals to thrive and to succeed in their careers.
My name is Wynand Geldenhuys. My company is called Vectra, and we develop software solutions for companies. In the space that we play is in customer-facing retail solutions, so that's your point of sales, your e-commerce, and that's the place we're most excited about, because that's where our customers, which are retail customers, engages with their customers. So it's really bringing them together and creating the best shopping experience for their customers. I started programming when I was probably 16 years old, and I still remember the first time that I saw a friend of mine's brother was working on a program, and when he showed me what it did, it was just like a light switch moment where I found, and I said, that's what I want to do. And since then I've been teaching myself how to program, and I made a career out of it and eventually a business. I remember when I started my business and I announced to my former colleagues that I was leaving the company I was working for at the time. Everybody thought I was completely crazy, because according to them I had reached a lot of success within that existing company, and I was only set up for good things, and everybody was surprised to say, are you crazy to leave such a great career? And also, there's never been a worse time to start a business. Look at the economy, things are looking terrible. And I said, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life, because there's an opportunity to go do this now, and if I let it pass, it might not come again. As the Vikings say, burn the ships and just storm ahead.
I'm Carmen Stevens. I am the owner of Carmen Stevens Wines. We are situated in Stellenbosch. I love the fact that I can be creative in terms of my wine, how I blend them. It's my decision what kind of wood or oak or toasting I want to use in my wines. I like things to complement rather than to overpower what nature gives me. And I think it's quite a gift to be able to work with something that came from nature and you turn it into what I think the best it can be. Everybody knew at some point I was going to do my own thing. I think it's inevitable for any winemaker. So I started asking people, do you know of anybody that would assist me? Because I really want the markets before I actually go in and make the product. And I think I was very lucky. A friend of mine recommended the wines I made to somebody in the UK, and he called me one day and he said, Carmen, how would you like to have your own label? And I was looking for this opportunity. And I think I was very lucky. I started with 25 tons my first year, and we are now up to 160 tons. I think I'm very blessed to be in a position where people actually love the wines I make. And the buy again rate, that is the most important, is very high on my wines. So my biggest challenge was being accepted to study winemaking, as winemaking was never open to Black South Africans. When I applied, the colleges were all closed. So my persistence and not accepting no is what brought me here today.
I'm Chantal Boyson, the founder of LM Spa Products, and we started the first medical pedicure 14 years ago. So we have a company who runs 3 brands, MediHeal, MediHand and Body Science. So I would go to the spa, go for pedicure, and then they used peppermint cream on my feet or they would use harsh sugar scrubs. And really, I think there was a lot that bothered me about treatments in spas. I knew that not everybody who goes for a pedicure wants a relaxation or a pamper. Some people deal with things like nail fungi or foot odor or ingrown toenails, and there was a need for more than just a pamper relaxing pedicure, and couldn't find any products for that. It was something that I wanted, I had a need for, I developed it, and it seemed like everybody else didn't know they wanted, but when it was on the market, they loved it. I had an appointment with somebody and I had a box with 2 bottles, and I was very excited about this product that I formulated. And I was on my way to see the client, and I couldn't remember her name, which was terrible, and I didn't write it down at the first meeting. So I went in to the hotel foyer and I thought, okay, I found the right place, because it had a spa on the first floor. Went upstairs, and then I thought I was very clever and I asked for the buyer. So the buyer came out, she looked at me, and I knew she had forgotten about me too. So I couldn't remember her name and she had forgotten about me. Anyway, she entertained me, she saw me. An hour and a half later, I demoed the products on her. She loved it. And the person I had met that day was the operations manager for the Camelot Spa Group, who at the time was the biggest spa group in South Africa. And they signed up Medihill or Ilham with 27 of these spas. So that afternoon when I got home, I got a call and I'd actually seen the wrong person. The person I was supposed to see was at the other hotel waiting for me. So I'd met with the best person I could have met with in South Africa that morning, yeah, and that really was a springboard for Ilham, because once we got into that spa, which was a premium brand in South Africa 15 years ago, it still is, it just, you know what, it just took off. It was very easy for us to do business.
Hello, my name is Oma Timma. I'm the creative and founding director of PlusWeb. So PlusWeb is a fashion brand for fully figured women. We don't give you the size, we give you the fabulosity, the flair, and the amazingness. So we don't believe in giving people the right sizes, no. We want you to accentuate yourself and look amazing and look forward to a date night or a presentation at work. That's what we do. We do that for a living. I always say, I dress up for a living, honey. I was struggling to get clothes that spoke to me at that time. I was plus size, yes, but I was young and I wanted something that was just sexy and fabulous, and I couldn't find any of that. And I thought that can't be right. It can't be that we don't exist, because retail, mainstream media suggested that we don't exist, and that for me just didn't sit well. And I guess I wanted to be the change I wanted to see. We're different from our competitors because, one, we understand the size chart of a South African body. We don't just take a normal size chart that has been around. We have researched our body shape. Wherever you are, you can buy our clothes and you don't have to stress about it fitting and not fitting, because we've got you. We understand the proportion of your body, and that has been our incredible selling point. My best business memory has to be operating in the garage of my apartment, and I used to call that my studio. And every time I remember there was a client that was coming from the office of the presidency at that time. I'm like, no, you can come through to my studio to see what we have in store. And obviously she didn't know that I actually meant a garage. And the garage was the roller door. So I was like, welcome to PlusWeb, and I opened the roller door with so much confidence. I really look back at that moment and be like, you know, it's amazing how a state of mind can do, because it's exactly what we have now. We've got studios, we've got a fully fledged factory, we're selling across the country, we're in 2 of the biggest online stores in the country. So just the mindset that I had at that time just brings incredible, beautiful memories.
My name's Mike Sharman. I'm the co-founder of Retroviral. We're a social media creative digital agency, and what we do is we make stuff go viral. We're the agency that has made more brands go globally viral than any other agency in Africa.
Many of our customers are challenger brands, and they are pioneers in their own right, and they're making incredible strides, and they want a partner that understands that DNA, that also shares that DNA, and is able to articulate that.
For me, the story component has always been inspired more by filmmakers and actual movie storytellers as opposed to brand storytellers. I'm a huge Tarantino fan. I'm a huge fan of documentaries. I'm a huge fan of looking at content that inspires people to action. And by taking that storytelling thinking, you can apply that to brands. For me, when we started out in 2010, we were trying to pioneer influencer marketing in particular, where influencer marketing didn't have a name yet. So we were working with a lot of the celebrities, the radio DJs, the journalists who'd built early adopter followings on platforms such as Twitter, because that gave us the opportunity to amplify content. We were the guys that initially worked with Nando's to take those posters that we're so familiar with now that go viral on social. We were the agency that started out saying, hey, don't spend R250,000 putting this in one of the traditional newspapers. Let's put this online. We can spend a lot less and get a lot further for that value.
My relationship with money has been like a marriage. You know, we've gone through every season together. We've loved each other, we've desired each other, we've wanted to be together, we've hated each other. You know, we've not wanted to see each other. A lot of times she didn't want to see me. You know, she was on fed up leave for a couple of years there. And thankfully, I think we're in a good place. We're in a calmer place.
My name is Jana Virgie. The name of the company is Wired Earth Technologies. We are planning, survey, design and wayleaf company. So we physically survey sites for fiber installation. Our planners come back, they design it. We resend it back to our clients for approval. Once they've given us approval, we will start the wayleaf application to get right of ways within the road reserves. So basically what Wired Earth does is that we first of all plan the site with the client and get the approval from a landlord, for example, to actually take fiber into the building or to the premises. The right of ways is a notification to the municipality informing them of the infrastructure that will be laid in the road reserve. So we don't physically roll out the fiber, we more on the administrative side where we actually do the physical admin work and get all the notifications and municipal permissions to actually continue with the service. Our main customer at this point is Dark Fiber Africa. They've been rolling out dark fiber and they are currently lighting that fiber right now. We also work for customers like Vodacom, Cell C, where we've been part of the rollout plans for fiber installations. I haven't changed that much. What I can say is that I've grown in a business environment. I have grown as an individual and I've learned to compromise and I've learned to hold my tongue. I'd advise another entrepreneur that if you fail, to pick yourself up and start again. Failure is not the end. We pick up, dust yourself off and you try again.
My name is Annelie Pretorius. I'm the Managing Director of a company called Bismarck Consulting. And we're a consulting firm, so we do business projects, we do IT projects, information security projects, and we do compliance projects where we implement acts like POPI. We do this through a variety of disciplines. We project managers, business analysts, change managers, and developers. And we also have a creative studio that helps us to create very professional looking collateral. And when you change something in an organization, it helps to create visible and visual collateral to get the message home. Well, my partners and I both grew up in projects. We actually met each other on a workflow project many years ago.
And in that implementation that we were doing a BPM implementation, and I met these two ladies, Sune and Anna Marie. We started talking, I saw how they were working, we aligned at a values level, and we decided let's do this together. And that's how we kind of took what was Bismart at the time to what it is now.
We work for large corporates, so our customers are in the financial services industry, telco, and in manufacturing. Very often we work in your business process areas, your operational areas, and then your IT areas.
So as an entrepreneur, if you ask me, I'd tell you to think twice. Think very hard. To be an entrepreneur is not easy. You have to have the passion. Passion drives you. But for you to be sustainable in this game, you also need to know how to balance your health, how to balance your family. So balance also becomes something that's very important to keep you going, which is not very synonymous with an entrepreneur. So it's a love and hate relationship that I have. I do not see myself being anything else other than being an entrepreneur. But then the after effects of it at times, I ask myself, why do I do this? And I guess that's what keeps me going, and that's what I love about it.
My name is Uzair Esak. I'm the Managing Director and founder of Cape Crops, and we export South African produce all over the world. My father, my grandfather, their fathers before them have all been entrepreneurs, so weekends, spent in their businesses, after school in their businesses, so, that was my real education, is learning entrepreneurship from them. And from when I was a youngster, I would say probably about 7 years old, I would sell things at school, whether it was laser pointers, DVDs, Tazos, you name it. If I could make money off of it, I found a way to do it. And then, literally one business leads to another. It gets bigger and bigger each time. I was importing rice from Pakistan and India, and my driver came to me and he just said, look, his cousin's looking for some pineapples. My dad was living in Durban at the time. I was still at UCT, so I asked my dad if he could help me source some pineapples. He did that. We put a few deals together. It was successful, so I thought, this is lucrative. I enjoy fruit, I enjoy nature. Export business will obviously be good. So just put all of that together, and that's how we started. We're different from our competitors because our model is slightly different to theirs. While they would offer farmers very poor payment terms and not a fixed price, so we change things around and we say that once the farmers farm the produce, that's their responsibility done. So we offer farmers cash up front on a fixed price basis before the goods have even left the farm. I get excited because I like to show the world what South Africa is capable of. We don't always have the best image in terms of the global viewpoint, but by letting our fruit go all over the world, I always get compliments to say that South African fruit is the best fruit they've tasted, and they get fruit from all the other countries, and they always have high praise for South African fruit, and that makes me feel happy knowing that our country can produce such a worldwide in-demand product. I've succeeded because of hope and belief and determination as well. Life is never easy, it will always give you lemons, but it's about taking those lemons and finding a way to export them and make money from them.
My name is Tikizwa Negile. We are a recruitment business called Indima Recruitment, operating under the name Indima HR Consulting. The business is purely a recruitment business. We do permanent recruitment and temporary recruitment, and over and above that, we run a contracting arm where we manage IT contractors, which has grown from 8 contractors to standing at 117. I've always loved dealing with people, and more specifically placing people in jobs, because it gives me a sense of fulfillment when I know someone has got a job and I am behind their success. When I worked for Woolworths, I worked for an awesome boss, and I approached her and I said to her, Irma, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to start my own thing. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, but the urge is there. It just doesn't leave me. And she said, you know what, I'm behind you, I'm going to support you. And what else do you need? What more do you need when a boss says to you, it's okay, you can go, I will support you. So I left the business and had only one client that I was relying on. And I had business in place with the client when I resigned. And all my prayers were like, in that business, should this work, then it will be a sign that God wants me to do this. And indeed, it happened. I made the placement, which was my very, very first placement. I always remind the lady and the client that had it not been for you two, I would not have been in business today. I get a bit emotional when I think about the way we grew up. We were living in a one-bedroom house, sleeping on the floor, and sleeping on the floor was just like the next best thing. There was nothing else besides that. In the household, we were about 10, and each one had to fend for themselves. And everyone today, my sisters, my siblings, my cousins, we are excelling in what we do.
I'm Andrew Weinberg, and our company is called To Engage. The main purpose of the company is to develop a media platform across Africa. So what we did was establish a digital platform that linked customers in mainly rural, peri-urban areas to brands so they can communicate and run promotions to them. So a typical client would be a FMCG brand like a Unilever, Tiger, Colgate, or a financial institution, an insurance company. And they want to access consumers in localized and rural areas where they can communicate and sell more of their product to. So what we do is we establish a base through retail stores and link the retail store's point of sale system to our environment in the cloud. This allows the brands now to run communications and track the consumer behavior through these retail stores. I would advise another entrepreneur to keep to their vision. Keep going until there is no more road ahead. Because too many times I've seen mates, colleagues, other individuals leave corporate life, start their own business, or even come as a youngster into their own business and very quickly get bored or very quickly get detached from what their original vision was. And every time they go back to what they originally started off with, the day they woke up and said, I've got this idea, then it's successful. It's when they start looking outways and to the side and saying, well, maybe there's a better opportunity there. Maybe I can do that better over that side. I think things fail. It's keeping to your own view and to your own vision and maintaining that path for as long as you can and breaking those hills until you get to success.
My name is Siyabulela Mandla from Rhino Manufacturing. This is a manufacturing plant. We do all sorts of things, but predominantly plastic. Firstly, where we do our own recycling. We recycle most of our plastic, and that's what we use, obviously, to manufacture some of the products that we do. Construction filling, that's what we do. People know it as a dam course, which is roofing. And underground, we do irrigation pipes for the agricultural sector. We also do HD pipe. We do a lot of packaging for the industry, automotive. We sell most of our products through what we call merchants, which is your Messmarks, Bucos, Build It. And we've got what we call agents, which are the guys who are selling on our behalf, located across the country. We've got co-ops, which I think, for instance, in the agri-space, there's a big co-op market. I get excited when I come to the factory and see machines running. I think that's what fascinates me. I think manufacturing in reality in South Africa is a trade that is dying, and I think it's quite unfortunate because the market in South Africa, the economy, is predominantly about consumption, and it's never really about the ability to manufacture your own products. And I think that's what gets me excited to come to the factory and see real products being manufactured on real time, real people. Every time you talk to people about entrepreneurship, they always tell you about passion, determination, and all of those things. they differentiate you from the rest and they give you a bit of endurance. But there's one thing that I always advise people on, that as an entrepreneur you need knowledge. And knowledge is not something that you're going to gain in the streets, which you can at some point in time, but academic knowledge is quite imperative, because if you want to talk about marketing, you want to talk about finance, it's not something that you're going to learn in the streets. You need to develop a culture of continuous learning. You need academics behind you, so that you don't just build the capacity, but you also build the competence within you, so that you are able to navigate in the business sphere quite seamlessly.